What's up, y'all? It's Brandon from Flesh and Blood Brothers, and I call this Kano Questions Answered. Casey asks, how do you effectively do chip damage? I feel like I never get their life total where I want it before I need to go off. Alright, so chip damage in Kano. Most of the time, you're going to be relying on your 2-for-5s like Swell Tidings and Voltic Bolts, because what you'll do is you'll pitch a blue, activate Crucible to give it +1 and come in for 2-for-6. So even at AB3, you're going to chip damage no matter what. So you want to see those come up during your game. Even a Wildfire in your own turn in a pinch. If you already have one in Arsenal, let's say, you know, it's a 2-for-5, pump it with Crucible, blue for 5. Red Aether Spindle is great. That comes in 2-for-4 or 3-for-5 with the Crucible and Aether Flare. So you're going to be doing chip damage with your red spells. And also you can get lucky and like get a Sonic Boom into a Swell Tidings or something like that. So you're going to be looking for those chances throughout the game. Sometimes you'll have bad luck and flip Kano for like 0-for-1s all day. But yeah, chip damage, you're going to want to look at your discard pile throughout the game and see how many red spells you have left and Sonic Booms, because these are going to be your way to chip damage outside of your Wildfire combo. So hope that helps, and thanks for asking. Peter says he finds himself comboing very early in the game and leaving his opponent on 5 or less life often. So he asks, do you find yourself liking to combo whenever you see a chance, even if it doesn't kill them, or do you always wait until it 100% kills? I was able to talk to one of the developers at the Calling San Jose about this. Basically, if you're getting, 20+ damage out of your Storm Striders, you're good to combo whenever. So my advice is, if you have a Wildfire in Arsenal, no matter how early in the game it is, especially if you have a tune encounter, if you have a Wildfire in Arsenal, a tune encounter in your Storm Striders, and like maybe 3 blues and a yellow in your hand or something like that, you gotta go for it. Especially if your opponent has like 1 or no cards left in their hand. If that Wildfire can do like 3 or more, it's definitely worth it to just rip it, let it rip. And then as far as like, okay, closing out the game, if you find your opponent has like 5 health or less, what you gotta do is kind of lean on your 2-for-5s, like red Swell Tidings, red Aether Spindle, even another Wildfire on your own turn, or Aether Flare, Sonic Boom. You have to make sure you have enough threats left to kind of push them hard. And another good thing to do is maybe have one of those turns where you draw extra cards with Tome, so you can like activate Kano 2 or 3 times and just kind of like go wide and make sure they can't soak up all your arcane damage. So very good question. But yeah, the answer is Wildfire Arsenal, tune encounter, Storm Striders, 3 blues and yellow or better. Let it rip, especially if they leave themselves with no cards in their hand, then you definitely have to let it rip. And then close out the game with some timely Kano activations and leaning on your other red spells. Hope that helps. Greenshot asks, what are the combos or lines that we should be learning? How do you play against harder matchups that can sideboard and ruin the day? How do I deal with the massive headache that Kano gives me after playing him for 3 games straight? So I'm going to answer the last question first. How do you deal with the Kano headache? It's a combination of repetition, knowing the deck, knowing when you're in danger, and just kind of automating. Once you see your 4-card hand, you can kind of automate and be like, okay, I'm going to block with these 3, throw this in my arsenal, or I'm going to block with these 2, use this blue Crucible and throw this spell back, whatever. So to avoid the Kano headache, just remember that Wildfire combo is like pretty much what you're going to be doing, and everything else is just kind of extra. So on that note, what combo lines should you be learning? I've walked through this in multiple Kano videos in the past, but essentially it comes down to Aether Wildfire in your arsenal, Storm Striders to play that on your opponent's turn in instant speed, pumping it up with Crucible and Metacarpus to make it 6 damage instead of 4, And then after that, you would play a Kano spell that you flip over. And then if you have Blazing Aether in hand, you use Ragamuffin's Hat to put Blazing Aether on top and close the game with Wildfire plus random spell plus Blazing Aether. That'll pretty much close you the game. So really go over those, hammer those. I'll do a separate video with like the actual physical cards going through those lines. But Hayden Dale from Arsenal Pass also did a quite majestically explained demonstration of the combo lines you should be learning. And as far as sideboarding goes, in my sideboard view right here, my sideboard is particularly the 6 Singes for Dromai, a second Chain Lightning for Fatigue, a second Cindering Foresight for Fatigue, and then Aether Darts also for Dromai, and 2 more Voltic Bolts, which would also come in versus Fatigue. So if you're going to have that Fatigue Oldham or AB3 Guardian matchup, you're going to take out, well, yeah, you're going to have your 2 for 5s in here. You're going to bring in 2 more, so you probably have to sacrifice maybe Aether Flare. That way you have extra 2 for 5s in the hand. But yeah, essentially you want to catch them slipping and sneak your Wildfire in for 4, 5, or 6 damage and go off. But I hope that helps. And yeah, I'll explain in a separate video with the physical cards. But you're going to be relying on Wildfire, cards like Spindle to opt, and Sonic Boom to get you another Wizard Flip will help you. And then you're going to Blazing Aether with Ragamuffin's Hat for that last Kano activation of the turn. So hope that helps. And yeah, you just need to get the reps on Kano. You need to wrap your head around what the playlands are. I do an actual walkthrough in one of my videos. Sorry, my watch is going crazy. My previous video was a Kano walkthrough where I drew 4-card hands over and over and explained what I would do with it. So I would highly recommend you watch that. And I hope that helps.